The Wednesday, April 28th, 2021 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners to order. I'm going to call the roll first. Commissioner Collins,
Present.
Commissioner Stady,
Present.
and the Chairman Shea is present. We have a quorum. Before we go into executive session, which is our first order of business today, I'd like to take a moment or two to speak about our immediate past chairman, Francis W. O'Brien, who passed away this last weekend. After serving on this board for over 18 years and needless to say, over 60 years in government. So at the outset, I will say that there are funeral arrangements for Fran O'Brien tomorrow at the Doherty Funeral Home on High Street in Dedham from 4 to 8 p.m. and a funeral mass to be celebrated at St. Mary's, also on High Street, adjacent to the funeral home at 10 a.m. on Friday, with a gathering at 9 a.m. at the funeral home. So I think, although we all recently are still in contact and working with Fran, and we worked with him up till December 31st, there wasn't a week that went by that we didn't have communication and back and forth, and right up till the end, he continued his interest and his poignant comments about the goings on of not only the county, but as you know, how able and interested he was. And he is I mean, to call him Mr. Dedham is probably an understatement, but he was truly a great guy and a person who loved his country, the state of Massachusetts, retired MBTA liaison to the legislature in the cities and towns, and also a Dedham selectman for a number of years and several other public offices, but culminated since 2002 as a member of this board and past several years as chairman. And we really missed him in the short time he was gone. But as you all know, it doesn't go on forever, and his health was deteriorating, but he was sharp. And I did speak to him last week. He's talking about the budget, talking about some personnel items we have on our agenda, and he really never lost his interest. And he was always encouraging, and he was an advocate for everyone, particularly the employees of our county. So I thought anyone wants to say anything on this broadcast, we'd do it at the beginning of the meeting. And then when we adjourn, we'll adjourn in Franny's memory at the end of the meeting. So anyone else who wants to speak, I encourage you to do so. Thank you.
Sure, I'd like to say a couple of words about Fran. When he retired, we said a lot of good things too, but
right.
I didn't get to know him till he came on the county commissioner board. I didn't know him before that. And I did hear he was an old school politician, and he certainly was. And I really got to know him and appreciate the many qualities that he brought to the office. He really did. He was a wonderful person, a family man, really cared about his family. And over time, he became, much like John Gillis, he became a father figure to me. And he was like Lazarus. He was always near death at a dozen times in his life, and he always fought back. It was just amazing the way he fought. And I think about Fran often, and I'll continue to do so in the future. But a solid person, and
Excuse me.
yeah, I can't tell you how much I cared for him. So thank you, Dick. I don't know what you want to say.
I have the dubious honor of replacing
That's right.
Commissioner O'Brien, as you know, and obviously those are big shoes to fill. I will do my best to honor his memory and to serve the best I can with my own abilities. I work with him as an advisory board member, but obviously you gentlemen had the pleasure of working with him as commissioners. But he did have that fierce dedication to purpose. And you knew that when Fran O'Brien took a position, you better be prepared if you were going to go against him. He always cared about people. He cared about his town of Dedham greatly. And of course, he loved his role as commissioner. And those are all great traits. All I'd like to add is my prayers and thoughts with him, but mostly his family and his surviving relatives, obviously, at this time of sorrow. And obviously, we will be obviously honoring him in many ways, hopefully this weekend and in the future as well, as we've talked about. So my best regards.
Hey, Joe, one thing. The way Dick had worded that, he said he replaced Franny, but Franny would want it known that he chose not to run for re-election. and he was replaced by Dick after he himself had retired.
Right. That's probably right. That's right. That's right. Amazing. Amazing record.
Okay, well, thank you very much. If we have no other comments now, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session for a personnel matter.
Motion to go
Previously
on, motion to go on executive session to address a personnel matter.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion made and seconded. I'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Stady,
Yes.
and the Chairman Shea votes yes. We will be going into executive session for a personnel matter. We will be returning for the remainder of the April 21st County Commissioners meeting. Hopefully we will not be long, but we have previously scheduled this executive session. So if anyone can, only those people that we need to stay. We have our council, we have our employee here, we have his representative, number 4 on our regularly scheduled meeting. Thank you
Good luck,
very much.
Mr. Gore.
Thank
Good
you
luck,
very
Ed.
much. You
Thank you,
won't hear
everyone.
from me again.
Good luck,
All
Mr.
right.
Gore. Stay
Take care.
healthy.
Thank you.
Put some ice on that knee at night. Help.
That's all I've been doing.
All right.
Thank you
Bye
very
now.
much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Michelle, I'll call you.
Okay,
Okay, I don't know how to do this.
just
I'm
hit the
just gonna-
leave button. It's a red button. It says leave on the bottom
Oh,
left.
I got it. Okay.
Okay, everyone, thank you. We're back in session at a regularly scheduled meeting in Norfolk County Commissioners, April 28th. We've completed our executive session. We're on item number 4, minutes of the open session meeting of April 14th, 2021 for approval.
Is that what you wanted to push out, Bill?
Did we get those or?
I
I'm
think we're
sorry.
gonna do them next week.
Yeah.
Bill, you're on mute.
We're gonna do the 14th next week?
Right. We don't have those.
Yeah, we're gonna table them until next week.
Right.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we table till next week.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That was a table till next week.
Right.
Number 5. Public comment. Did you hear from anyone about public comment?
I have not.
Okay. Number 6, facilities maintenance and capital improvement report and corona update. John McGowan.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Hey,
Good
John.
afternoon, John.
I don't have much going on this week. I have that project down in Quincy Court that I referred to last week about the units, the compressors burning up. There was 4 of them. And the company, they're down there working on them as we speak. They're replacing them. There's 4 of them that have to be replaced. And the coils have to be, air tested, find out where they're leaking from, and repair those too. What we're trying to do is keep that thing running. Hopefully we get a couple more years out of that unit, and hopefully nothing happens to the other ones. IBS is a good company. We've had them a vendor for a long time, and they do a good job. Now Stoughton Court, I don't know what the story is with that right now. I'd have to give you an update on that next week, but I know I believe they ordered the material. And there's an architect involved, I believe, and an engineer. And they had something going on over there this week about the hooking up of the ductwork and installing the ultraviolet lights. Remember I talked to you about having those put in our ductwork throughout the county. it eliminates, once it goes beyond the filters, you put the ultraviolet lights in, kills all the any germs or anything that might get by the filters. But we're looking into that anyway. But I have another problem down at Quincy. I got a call from Chris McQuaid about this judge down there is allergic to mold, and juvenile court, I believe she's in the basement. And he called me up, and I set a meeting up with their company that they hired, is going down there this morning and take samples and air tests and stuff like that. And I haven't got a report back yet. I haven't heard back from anybody yet. But that's about all I have. I have to let you know, though, one other thing that I'm proud of is we're getting an award from the Bar Association Friday, Law Day, the Facilities Department. They're awarding a plaque to us, to the men, you know. Not me, I already have one. They gave me one years ago. And I told the girl, I hope it's not for me. I already have one. It's recognizing the facilities department for all the COVID work that they did, you know. That's about it. I don't have anything else. Unless you have any questions, I can answer them. I will.
Commissioners, any questions for John?
John, I think you and your staff deserve that award, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Commissioner.
Are they having a
men do
full-blown law
deserve
day?
it.
John, are they having
Pardon?
are they having a full-blown law day? Usually,
No, I don't believe so.
it's a
they're not
cutback
gonna-
version, right?
Yes,
Okay, we're gonna be
Yes.
tied up Friday morning anyway.
yeah.
Mr.
I was
O'Connor-
gonna be over there, but I have to attend the
Franny's funeral,
commissioner's
correct.
funeral. Yeah.
Okay, last call for John. John, I'll be calling you at the conclusion of this meeting with the results of our executive session held earlier. So, just for notification purposes, but I know where to find you, John. How
Okay,
to find you. On speed
Yep.
dial.
I'll be
Okay.
here.
Last call. Thank you. Number 7, we have no appointments scheduled today. Number 8, any old business? None. Personnel, number 9, personnel matters for consideration. We have 3 at the agricultural school and 2 promotions at the registry of deeds. We can handle the agricultural school first, please. Need a motion. 1 appointment and 2 resignations.
I move appointment of Evan Maeda of Oxford, Mass. as animal science 4-person herdsman effective 4/29/21.
That's the best job title. Second.
All in favor? Aye, that's
Aye.
unanimous. Number 2,
I'll make them together. Notice, I'll accept my motion of notice of resignation of Deanna Salamich.
Solomon.
Tingsboro, these names are tough, as camp nurse effective 4/23/21, and motion of resignation of Timothy Stallings of Hyde Park as animal CEC student worker effective 4/15/21.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Registry of Deeds, notice of promotion, 2.
I'll move motion of promotion of Sharon Snape of Randolph from senior clerk to principal clerk effective 5/3/21.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And
Unanimous.
motion of Karen Bennett of Dedham from senior clerk to principal clerk at the rate stated effective 5/3/21.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Aye, that's unanimous. There is one more, Commissioner Stady, if you will. It's in the maintenance department. It's a resignation.
Yes, I will move the motion to accept the resignation of John Donovan of Quincy, Mass. as foreman plumber effective 4/23/21.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. As a note on the plumber, we now have a vacancy for county plumber. We will be posting it. I won't want to put Michelle on the spot, but next week it'll go on, Bundy.
You will get it up before that. Yeah, we'll get it up.
Okay, so we're we're required to post it, we will post it, and then we will also, after the posting, go outside if we have to, but we have to fill this position in a timely manner,
I agree.
and we will.
Let's see, Mr. Chairman, quick question for procedure.
Yes,
Does the union then get the first dibs to bid inside on a job like that? Is how that works? Typical? Do they get a chance inside before we go outside?
yes, but this is kind of we still have to post it inside, but Michelle can correct me, but I think I looked into this. This is a special position because
Yes.
you have to be a licensed plumber in the state
Right.
of Massachusetts to hold this position, so
Got it.
I can't imagine, I don't
Yeah.
know that we have other licensed plumbers on the payroll. If we
Yeah.
do, we'd give it every consideration ahead of going outside.
Okay.
But we're, we don't have a lot of plumbing. John can attest to this better than I, but I mean, as soon as something can go wrong, it will when we don't have a plumber. So we're
I'll call you
not
back.
gonna let any time lay at all here.
Just wanted to know the procedure, that's all. Thank you. That's good. Warrants?
Number 10, payroll and expense warrants for April 28th.
All right, I've got these, for once I have them right in front of me. I'll make the motion to approve county weekly payroll 21-432, the amount of $134,041.42.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, unanimous. Number 2,
It's a big one. Motion to approve county weekly payroll 21-43.1 in the amount of 93 cents.
I'll second it. Michelle, question, and those numbers are right? I've never seen that.
I've never seen it either.
Correct?
I'm just looking at it. I'll,
Looks like there was an error and they had to make an adjustment.
There was a closeout for an employee who retired, and that was the last amount to get out the door.
Wow.
Okay, second.
93 cents.
All right.
Motion made and seconded. Weekly payroll, 93 cents. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The third one, please.
Wollaston Recreational Facility expense warrant of April 20 of 21 in the amount of $1,163.15. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those are the warrants for this week. Thank you very much. Number 11, we have no bid openings today. Number 12, we have no contract awards today. Number 13, fiscal year 21 supplemental budget request from Register O'Donnell. I see the register on the call. We'll call on him.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Hello, Commissioners. Hello, everyone on the call. Hope everyone's well. Again, thank you for your consideration having me here today. This request, first of all, the request is for shelving, but I want to thank the Facilities Department, John McGowan and John Vignon and the facility staff. Done a nice job working on the area where the shelving is going. And it's needed. And one of the reasons it's needed is we're now using closing room space and other space to put all the, boxes and things like that. And we need to get this shelving up. So at some point, it's going to free up the closing space and the other space because at some point, we're going to have to be, we will be open as we see where things take us on COVID. So that's really the request. It's needed because in Group 5, I have the expenditures through April 14th, and it also shows what was incumbent through April 20th, and there's like $409 left in Group 5. So that's the basis for the request, so that we get the shelving up and get things going.
I have a quick question, Billy, if I may.
Sure.
I think you had mentioned this in the past. Some of the registries weren't still printing books, and we were. I knew that. Are we the only ones still printing books?
No, there are other there are other registries that are printing books. I know we've done, and I've always appreciated your support and everyone's support, and we've always been the first to kind of modernize and do things. But there are still some of us that also don't want to be the first register in the history of Norfolk County to stop printing books, and there's still a need. I mean, when I say books, we're doing indexing. But you're right, it's something that we'll have to look forward at the future. But no, there are still registries printing books, and even some of the registries that aren't, I think, indicate they would like to, but they had different considerations.
I was just thinking about the spacing. It's always come down to that. I know that you're using all the space that you can, and we talked about it last week or the week before. And any idea how long we'll have space to print the books or have the books on site?
That estimate always ends up being less than it should be. The last time I was told, oh, with the high density shelving, it could be, 5 years. But I also remembered when Paul Harold was left shelving for Barry that was supposed to last like 5 years, and then it became tremendously busy during Paul's very and unfortunately short tenure, and that shelving got filled up within a year. So it's something that we're going to have to address at some point, and you're right, it's going to be dictated by housing it if you can't house it. But right now, the space has been sort of encumbered. This isn't book space. This shelving is for, supplies and things like that. This isn't for the books. This is for, the supplies and a lot of heavy duty items that are stored as part of the operational needs of the registry.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Now, this would be
Commissioner
part of,
Stady?
yes, procedurally, this motion would be to again put this on as part of the 4th supplemental appropriation, correct? And we'll take them all up at a later date as far as the
Correct.
actual presentation, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So what's needed is a motion at this time to approve it, and then it gets placed on?
Correct. And
In
then
my
with the
under-
law, we have 2 now, but I made, and I assume it's going to be dealt with at the next meeting of the advisory board. I have every expectation, correct?
Right, right.
In the past, that's how we've done it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Michelle, was that at the next meeting, was that the night, what is it, the 19th of May, is that it?
Yes, that's the full advisory board is May 9th.
Okay, so that's when it would come up.
Okay.
Okay.
I have
Okay,
no,
before someone makes a motion, I have a question. Where does one by shelf? Is this on the state bid or do we have to go out separately, Commissioner?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Register.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of companies that are on the state contract. You could do either, but I would assume that we would stick with the state contract. And there have been a couple of companies that have done shelving here at the registry, and both are on the state contract. So
But they're
that kind of streamlines it when it's on the state contract.
correct. And they're good shelves.
Yeah,
I mean, you're happy with
a
them.
couple of vendors, they've done work before, and yeah, it would come down to one or two.
Okay,
One of them, I would.
I have no other questions. I need a
Thank-
motion, commissioners.
I'll move that for the fiscal 21, the dedicated registry of deeds excise offset of $50,000 be part of the 4th supplemental appropriation to be used for miscellaneous equipment as requested and outlined by the Register of Deeds in the same amount of $50,000.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and second to approve the fiscal year 2021 4th supplementary appropriation in the amount of $50,000 for shelving at the Registry of Deeds.
Actually, Joe, you want it to be part of the 4th appropriation because we don't know if it's going to be.
Okay, I made that mistake last week too, which to be added to
Right.
The 4th
the
supplemental, yes.
the 4th supplemental appropriation to
There
be
you go.
paid for from dedicated deeds excise pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 64D. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Anything else for the register while we have them tracked?
No, thank you very much. And
Okay.
and as was echoed, our sympathies to Franny O'Brien's family. He was, he served the county well, and to those left behind, awfully sorry. And he certainly worked hard on behalf of everything in government, whether it was at the local level in Dedham or at the county. He worked hard on behalf of people and on behalf of process and getting things done, and a life well lived.
Thank you, Register O'Donnell. Number 14, report of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Deputy Director Buckley, please.
I like deputy better than assistant. That sounds better.
Deputy
So you went-
Assistant Director. I haven't
I'll
changed
take
your
deputy.
title.
It
You
sounds-
have not changed your title, please.
Anyway, is there a pension increase to that too? I'm just curious. Through you, Mr. Chair, I put in a couple of informational notes in your packet that I delivered last evening. Just wanted you to see some of the documentation that the Managers Association was circulating among themselves. I believe Norwood and Foxborough have presented that PowerPoint to their boards of selectmen, select boards, Board of Selectmen in Norwood, Select Board in Foxborough. So we put that in for information. Again, we continue to wait. There's really no news on that from last week. I did hop on a NACO, National Association of Counties call about the initial guidelines for getting one's DUNS number and SAM portal put together, but there was really no information. I spoke with Maria, the county director of Bristol County, and she too was waiting for all of the guidelines. I believe the staff from all three of the large counties in Massachusetts were making plans to, when the guidelines come out, each digest it quickly and then put our heads together and share resources and our own insights as we read them along with the state. Mr. Chairman, you had asked, I believe you had a conversation with a number of selectmen from different communities that we produce perhaps a letter to be given to the cities and towns, just to say, to each individual select board that we are very aware of their concerns. We have been, it's very important to note, articulating that consistently to the managers who in inconsistent fashion, it appears, have been informing their boards. So yeah, you would ask me
Well,
to take a run at.
I have been hearing from people more so than I did in the first few weeks. I've been very hesitant about this because we don't have the final promulgated rules, and I'm very nervous about it. This week I heard from, well, within the last week, Brookline, which we're going to go visit, Medway, I had a conversation, always Quincy, I know you've had, but I also heard from Needham. And that's what prompted the suggestion that we communicate this week if possible, and I think we can get it out if everyone agrees, a little bit, and we've labored over a letter that I think outlines where we are, which until we hear from Uncle Sam isn't in a final place, because we will have to take a vote and officially be notified after we're officially notified, but we have not been notified. I keep in constant contact with Treasurer Bellotti. I keep in, as you do also, Bill and Michelle, I keep in constant contact with Treasurer Tom O'Brien of Plymouth County, who is very, very knowledgeable and very aggressive on all of this. And I'm confident as soon as, we're all gonna hear together, hopefully, but we've got all our tentacles out, but we have not heard. However, I do believe that this, I believe, accurately framed letter will let those that we haven't particularly heard from be able to weigh in on. So I'd like to get everyone's approval, and I'd like to send this letter signed by the full board. Probably we can get it out by Friday afternoon based on, unfortunately, Chairman O'Brien's funeral, but I'd hope to get it out of here this week if everyone can agree. So it's just an update. I'm trying not to say anything concrete because A, we haven't been notified, and B, we haven't taken our vote yet, but it's going to happen. Boom. And there isn't a day goes by that we don't think and talk about it. But as of this morning, we've heard nothing new, and that's what prompted me to want to discuss with you writing some sort of contact letter. And I appreciate the extra time that's been spent on this, but I think it's outlines where we are without making specific promises. I did review in the packet the recovery plan funds, which was prepared by the Municipal Managers Association. I certainly understand their concern. I mean, it goes not only to the managers, but our three mayors and everyone. And we treat everyone the same, and we'll continue to do so. And I don't believe that they've received their money yet, the first batch
Correct.
under the rescue plans, recover plan, so rescue, I guess they call it. So that, I mean, they're gonna be wrestling with how they're gonna handle their money too. So I think they must understand where we are, but I'd still like to put it in writing. Originally, I didn't want to, but transparency is here and we do the best we can. But believe me, we're all on alert, and I know that wherever you go, and particularly the commissioners, people ask us about it. And I think overall they understand, but you can understand that they're trying to make plans too. That was the reason I put it on here, and I'd like to discuss it and go forward if we can, that's all.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner.
looking for comments or,
Sure.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think, well, number one, I think the letter's a good idea. That's a good idea. I had written to Michelle, I suppose it fell through the cracks, but I had said that last week. I asked her to review with you and Peter the possibility of another letter as well that we could send out responding to other concerns raised by the advisory board and other people at that meeting a week ago. We don't want to be derelict.
no, we're working on that too, and then
Okay.
we had something scheduled and it's,
Okay. I don't want to mix that up with this though, but I
well,
want
there
to.
isn't no, it is absolutely not, no, absolutely not. It's absolutely
Okay.
separate.
Oh, but I got a question on this. First of all, through you to Bill or someone, what is the Norfolk County Managers Association? Number one. Number two, how many towns belong to it and who belongs to it? That's the first I've heard of it. Number three, I take issue directly with some of the things. If you read the PowerPoint, they're slamming us pretty hard, pretty strong, slamming, saying we don't have any need for the money and we have a small budget and the money should go directly to the town. So certainly their attitude is pretty aggressive, at least in the PowerPoint, that they're telling their members that that money should be going to them and no one else. I take issue with that. Again, I've said from the beginning, the money's coming to the county. We still don't know exactly all the ins and outs, but I still feel that some of that money should be and ought to be used for county expenditures. And I think they're kind of jumping on the gun here. I felt pretty offended, I would say, reading some of the slides, the one that said the budget's only 30 million and they don't have any this, they don't have any that. Who are these people, Bill? Who are the members of this? So has every town sent somebody?
Mr. Chairman, the Norfolk County Managers Association sort of began with us, and you have to forgive me because this predates me, but I believe Frank Haggerty, when he was the assistant, created a listserv of all the managers minus the mayors of Braintree and Braintree, Weymouth, and Quincy, and as well as the manager of Brookline, because they're sort of on their own. So the other communities all joined in a listserv. We talked about kind of group action and regional services, which morphed into, this is my understanding, the Managers Association as is today. So Michelle and I, and Michael and I before her, are on that listserv, and they meet monthly to discuss various managerial concerns. It's a listserv much like the Association of School Committees has one, and I'm sure the Town Clerks Association has one. So we use that listserv to our advantage a lot. If we have, say, an organizational question around reopening or the like, we can kind of shoot it out to the hive mind and get responses from a number of communities to try to benchmark ourselves. So that has become the Managers Association. So it's about 23, 24 of the 28 communities, the chief executives of them. So I hop on their meetings monthly. And of course, they've been peppering me with questions, not only in those meetings, but offline, by a phone call, by individual email. So when those documents came to me through the listserv, I felt it was important to share them with you, just to kind of give them the perspective of where they're coming from and what we're hearing from them. And further, I sent you the the letter from Mike Boynton, who really kind of articulated a very positive and measured response. And I know that came after having a long conversation with Joe Shea, which was very helpful as well. And I think
Okay, so you answered that. All right, so this basically was started by us. We started the county.
and they took it. Yeah, they took it.
This is like our own siblings going against each other. Okay, I thought they
A little
never heard.
bit.
But
Yeah.
I mean, who created this PowerPoint? I mean, so if you go to slide 6, that's pretty strong. They're pretty strong.
Yes, that's from the manager from Norwood.
Okay.
And I have had extensive
It
conversations.
just arrived this week and we haven't been in.
Right.
Okay.
So I've had extensive conversations with him, the manager from Foxborough, Bill Keegan, as well as Mr. Senior, the manager from Cohasset, and the manager from Walpole, in the last week or so, as well, kind of individually speaking to others with questions. So it's important to understand kind of where our constituent communities are, and some of them are taking a very hard line. Some of them are choosing not to use this PowerPoint. As I say, Midfield doesn't feel the need to send a resolution to us. So there's a spectrum, quite definitely.
Well, no, just for the chair should know, and it's always important to communicate. I'm glad to see that the chair is taking the lead in talking to communities. Just so you'll know, I've talked to also communities
Good.
in the area. I've talked to Canton, I've talked to Stoughton, and a few others. So, I mean, collectively, we all want to have the same message, and I think we're all saying the same thing.
Absolutely.
We're waiting. Please be patient. We're going to do the best we can once everything's promulgated. That's all. But I mean, looking at this here, I was like, geez, I was a little taken aback. Looking at an association, I thought this was their position, that they were coming after us, and they're like, give us a little time to work through it. Yesterday, I was talking to someone. I think we should direct with DA Morrissey, and I'd like to follow up on this. We should follow up on this. One of the things we heard about his needs was that the courts, we know some of them are older, and the Wi-Fi is not as good as it should be. Well, again, I respectfully submit the American Rescue Plan is targeted for improvements to water and sewer and broadband infrastructure. So perhaps we should be looking at our courts, look at our own courts, which we're in charge of, to improve the broadband infrastructure. Again, these are things we need to evaluate and tell them to have a little patience, because this money, if at all, should be targeted for fiscal 23. They've got 22. Their budget should be set on 22. Heaven's sakes, town meetings are opening up. I know for a fact Canton's is in a couple of weeks, Stoughton's in a couple of weeks. Town meetings are underway, so their budgets are all set. And I understand they have a need for funds. We understand that. But this money here, they want to plan for fiscal 23, and rightly so. As I said, as a county commissioner, I want to make sure we're using it, though, for the county as well. That's where I stand. Thank you.
Commissioner Collins.
I'm fine. And Joe, I saw your letter. I thought your letter was fine.
Okay, I had initial reaction about 2 hours ago that Commissioner Stady had, but I was alone in my office, so I could only verbalize it a little bit to
You
Bill.
yelled at me, I know.
And I did yell at Bill, but I'm trying to treat everyone the same here, and I know everyone here is. And again, it's depending who you talk to. One of our mayors, and we treat them all well, hopefully, we have great relationship, said, look, we'll take any money you give us, but we're gonna spend the first batch first, which they're getting, regardless of what we do. And but I felt a little obligation to write this letter out of work on it, and Bill and Michelle helped me with it. I just wanted your permission. I wouldn't send a letter out with your name on it if I didn't discuss it with you. And it's mainly to state where we are again, which might change in a week, it might change in a day, but I doubt it. And we got all our tentacles out. We talked to the Great and General Court. Speaker Mariano put us in touch with his research person. Joe, he's a young attorney, and he's been, they don't know a lot more, they don't know more than we do either. Great and General Court.
Amazing.
And he said, when I know, you'll know. So I know that we're gonna be notified in a timely manner, but I don't know how to hurry it up. And then we have to sit down and really hash it out and take a vote to what to do. But I'd like to get this letter out of here this week. again, no excuses, but Chairman O'Brien's funeral is held us up, but we believe we can get it out on Friday afternoon, which means it'll start landing in every city and town hall next Monday.
Okay.
It might mean another round of phone calls. I've got an in-person visit coming up, and Michelle and I are scheduled to see the chair in Brookline on May 10th with our advisory board person, Mrs. Close. We've got a couple of other, and I know this is part of the conversation.
Right.
It isn't entirely, but it always comes up. So, but I was a tiny taken back, but I was aware that our director, more Director Mullen than Director Hagerty, were participating in these conversations because their meetings were always on Wednesdays. I don't know if they still are, but when when we were meeting in person, I'd be in here on Wednesday, and Mike would have to excuse himself and listen in on their meeting. So I was aware that all the managers had some sort of group. I did not know that it started with us, though. That's new and innovative.
Right, that's,
It's
there
pretty
you
funny.
go.
But I'd like to get a verbal. I'd like to get an okay and
Fine with the
visit.
letter. That's great.
Through you,
Fine.
Mr.
I can come by and sign it too if you want. If you want to
Well-
sign in person.
Through you, Mr. Chair, that was my only question. The letter, I just throw my own town on there because, as you know, I love Walpole so darn much. But I would think we would create 28 letters directed specifically to. From my time in the State House, I hate form letters. I like letters that are very specific. So I would create this afternoon 28 letters to the 28.
And between
Select board
Thursday and
chairs.
Friday, maybe when we're.
I can do it this afternoon. We'll make time and we'll stay here.
All
And
right.
get it. But I wanted to ask through you to the members if it would be okay to stamp the 28 individual letters. And
Yeah.
so we'll direct it to the chairs of each board of selectmen with the managers CC'd. And then we'll direct it in the city's case, we'll direct it to the mayors.
Yeah, stamp would be fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Excellent.
fine.
And I'll send you a few.
I also discussed this with Chairman Connors, but no one else. I said that we would hope to be notifying everyone and
Excellent.
It's good.
a little statement about where we stand. And I
Yep.
was practical with him, but he was fine too.
That's
But it's
fine.
coming from us, not them.
It will be done today.
Okay.
Great.
All right, I'm gonna accept that as a positive step to move forward, and we're gonna go to number 15. Veteran Service Update. We have Dale on the call as he is with us every week. So I'm gonna turn the mic over to Dale Kurtz.
Thanks, and I'm glad you can't see me. No, I've got to get the lighting fixed in this office so that it does shine. I will give you.
Where
one
are
quick-
you, Dale? You're not in this office.
You're in the.
No, I'm in the Franklin office.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, this used to be a conference room that they converted into an office, and the lighting is not suitable. But we work on that someday in the future. I'll give you one quick update, and then I want to talk about my meeting coming up with Norfolk and Franklin. And my update is that in Franklin, I did apply for a SHRAB grant through the Secretary of State's office, which we were given. The maximum amount that we could receive was $20,000. We received $18,338 to repair and upgrade, not upgrade, but repair and maintain the war monuments that we have in our town common. So that was a nice little gift that we got. There were 43 communities that applied for $515,000 that were given out. So we were well above the average. We almost maxed out. But I wanted to follow up on the conversation we had 2 weeks ago about expanding to the town of Norfolk. And I took Commissioner Collins' comments and also a discussion with Commissioner Stady and did some homework. And philosophically, I have a bit of an issue. If this is in fact a county position, being not just mine, but also the assistant, then it should be county funded. Now, how we replace some of that revenue, is something that we should definitely work on. But I don't believe that, and I'll back up a little bit. Currently, Deborah does, my current assistant, does very, very little to support the county. I would say 90% of her work is supporting, well, I'd say 75% is supporting Franklin, 25% Avon, and a couple fragments maybe supporting the county. My time's a bit different. You know, if somebody calls me from Bellingham, somebody calls me from Norfolk, Foxborough, hey, I had one from Weymouth just yesterday. I take care of them. I don't care if it's something I can do, I will take care of them. You know, if it's chapter 115, I have to refer them to their town, but you know, I'll take care of people. I take care of people from throughout the country because that's what they call us, because I'm on the Norfolk County website. I had a story that I'd share some other time about a woman from Norfolk County or from Norfolk, Virginia, called, thought I was in Norfolk, Virginia. And she wanted me to find out how I could get her to go see her husband who was in jail. I had to pass that one off too. But the bottom line is I did some numbers and my projections are a little funky because I know what we're supposed to receive from the towns of Avon and Franklin for 2022. I'm not 100% sure what our costs are. I used benefits at 40%. I did not check with Michelle if that's an accurate number or not. But if I take Deborah's current pay, my current pay, plus 40% of my pay and benefits, our total cost is $118,419.33. The revenue we receive is $79,080. So it costs Norfolk County currently about $39,340 for veteran services. If we move forward with the town of Norfolk, and that would require that we have to increase staff. I just cannot take on another town and maintain what we do throughout the county and specifically for Avon and Franklin without some type of increase. If I'm able to get Norfolk to bring in $24,000, $2,000 a month, then that's a possibility. I don't know what their appetite is yet. Again, using the 2022 projections, that would bring in $105,000. Again, using current expenses, but taking the assistant this 30 hours at $20, and then using, again, 40% for benefits, our total cost comes up to $142,477. So actually the county's cost goes down. But again, that's not a true number because there will be some type of, cost adjustment for benefits. I think there is something in for pay increases. I don't know if Deborah receives a pay increase or not as a part-timer, but currently it's around $37,375. So actually the county will continue to incur costs. The Peters comment, it will not be an increase to the county, but that's if, a lot of ifs. I don't know the true numbers for what the salaries will be, what the benefits will be. And again, that is if we can get Norfolk to go in at $24,000, $2,000 a month. I'm not fully aware of what their total workload is in Norfolk. I know that I pick up a bit of it. So I just need some guidance how you want me to proceed in a meeting on Monday morning with Blythe Robinson and Jamie Helen, because they've asked me to attend to sort of talk about this and what we need to do to move forward. I just want guidance from the commissioners as to how you want me to move forward.
Okay. Let me ask a leading question. You said that if you were to add 2,000, 24,000, if Norfolk would add 24,000, that's 2,000, obviously 2,000 a month. That would greatly, you have no indication, you haven't asked them that yet, right?
Correct. I have no idea.
Okay.
I know that they're paying much, much less than that now because they have there's another attribute to this. They have a part-time VSO. They're now over 12,000 in population.
And they're supposed to have a full-time one.
Yes, sir.
And then that's where we fit in because we help out where
Right.
in
And
a
a full-time,
mission. Okay.
and a full-time VSO right now is dependent upon the, and it's all over the board, but, no, and I'm taking Quincy out of this because they're different. It's a very large municipality, but it goes anywhere from 66, 67 to 78, 79 thousand. The new VSO in Canton, I know, is at 69. So we're in the ballpark where we are. For Norfolk, they would probably have to go in the 60 plus range, and that's if they can get someone who's retired to take this on full time as a second job, or as a retiree type work. Don't know if that's best for them, but that's some of the discussion I'll have with them, how much it's going to cost them to go on their own.
Okay.
Yeah, so if Norfolk, like you're saying, if Norfolk had to hire someone, Dale, they'd have to pay upwards of 60,000, correct?
Plus benefits.
Okay, right, plus the benefits, absolutely.
So you're
Whereas
talking 84.
you'd be charging them about 2,000, which is about, what's that come out to?
24. 24,000.
Obviously, it's a no-brainer as far as getting them in there, but that still leaves us, what, a little bit of a gap as far as in the hole?
It actually reduces the county's current cost.
Okay,
The county currently, again, using 40%
yeah,
and using 2021 salary information, but using 2022, and that's my error, 2022
okay,
contribution from the towns. We currently spend 39,340 from the county. That's how much the county contributes to my office.
okay,
If I'm able to get them to go to 24,000 and the assistant is moved to 30 hours at $20 an hour, which is the current rate of pay,
yeah,
it would reduce the county's contribution to 37,375.
so with your proposal, which if I'm hearing you right, we're gonna be adding another town which we're servicing with your services, right? And
Right.
saving some money, so to me, it makes sense to go forward, I would say. I mean, it's great, I think. We're cutting our budget and we're offering another service to another town, Norfolk. Correct?
That's what I see.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if the current assistant is going to want to go 30 hours, and I do believe it's something that we would have to, if we have to hire someone new, then we hire someone new. Deborah's done
At
a
the
good
same
job.
rate though.
Yeah, I would look that it should be at $20 an hour, but we would have a little bit of flexibility. We'd have a couple $1,000 we could play with if we had to, and still stay even with where we are today.
Dale, do you think 2,000's the number? Can it be a little higher to help us reduce our budget a little bit, or is that a fair number? How did you arrive at that? I'm just curious.
Well, because I was a little greedy to start with, and I said 3,000 a month,
Okay,
which meant that I couldn't live with this. I couldn't live with the county dropping from 39,000 to 25,000. I just felt that was being a little too greedy on our part to have them
Hey,
pick up that
Joe,
much.
can I jump in?
Sure, Commissioner Collins.
Okay, back to you, Michelle. So Dale had mentioned the insurance costs and things like that. I think you ought to know what those are. So maybe Dale can work with you and figure out what the numbers are so that you'll have a better idea if 2,000 is enough. I mean, he said, he said, I'm saying 2,000, but I don't know what these other costs are going to be for benefits. So I think we ought to know what the costs are or have a better idea what those are before we tell them the price. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, so the cost to the county for FY22 for the most expensive plan we have is 25,000.
So if we're going to get stuck with that 25 grand, we have to factor that into the cost across all three towns, I would think.
That's the county cost, Michelle?
Yes, 70%. Yep, yes, Dale.
Okay.
So,
Well-
you know, I think you have to factor that number in as to whatever number you're going to charge each of the towns.
And to answer your question, Dale, all our employees get the COLA increase on 7/1/22. All our permanent employees.
And is that 2,
Deborah's in that 2.25%.
2.25? Okay, so I'll update that. Do you
I
have,
mean, we want to be fair to all of the communities that we serve. And I know we don't want to be greedy, but all I said was I don't want to have to pay more for this because we don't have money in the budget. So
right,
I think the towns have to, you know, foot their share of this, and I think they're still getting a deal. I think they're happy about that. So I think that's really all the guidance that you would need from us. We just want to make sure it's neutral to us anyway.
if
Well,
I may,
I think there's some hidden value in that you're getting Dale, you're getting an experienced VSO, you're getting a person who obviously has proved that he's knows what he's doing. If the town had to hire someone, A, they wouldn't get someone for 24,000. B, they'd have to give them administrative support, and C, it would take them a year to get up to speed, I would assume, even if they were good. Because Dale, this gets back to my 3 or 4 year discussion with you about where do you train, where do you get veteran service officers? I know that I used to ask you that
yeah,
because, you know, I had some experience working for the city of Quincy so long. I remember the 70s when there were 12 people in the department, then it went way down. Now it's building way back up. The need is, you know, the veteran service budget is off the wall. And I think it's the same in Braintree, Weymouth, everywhere else too. I think it's growing. So I think it's a great deal. And I applaud you for, I don't like to use the term being greedy, but I'd go a little higher and see what they say. I mean, your reputation is obviously preceding you. You're going to start hearing from, I don't know, you know, does Medway have a full-time person?
no,
They have a part-time.
they do, as does Bellingham.
Oh, they share. Okay.
Yep, no, well, Bellingham shares. Medway, last I looked, Medway was covering themselves. They were not yet connected in with Walpole or Medfield.
Okay.
Rentham is now covered out of Foxborough, and Plainville is now covered out of North Attleboro. Just the way different things have happened.
Yeah. Well, then this is probably pretty key because there might be more coming down when they realize, you know, what a good job we do and you do. It's because of you. And, you know, we ought to be able to, I don't know, you got to test the waters until you ask them. I don't know. I don't know what their frame of mind is. How did they first come to you? You knew the person was there before? Or?
Well, he's still there. I've known Bill Conklin for, ever since I started at the county.
Okay.
But he's a little bit older, and I don't know if Blythe is looking at the fact that they do have to go full-time and Bill's not the guy. He doesn't want to do that, or if there's something else going on, I just don't know.
Is this something?
Well, you're a regular, you listen to all our meetings and you know,
Yep.
And you're going to see them Monday?
Yes,
I don't know. Let's give it a try. I mean,
I think though, the idea of Commissioner Collins has merit. Certainly, you want to have an understanding of the cost, and then you
Right.
can factor that in, other than just pulling a number out of your hat. Like, that's why I asked. I had to come up with 2,000. So if you've got some facts to back you up, Dale, you can make a stronger argument for a higher or lower rate. But let me ask you this, just to think outside the box, is what, in view of what Commissioner Shea said, is this something that perhaps we may want to promulgate or advertise a little bit on our own, do a little serving promotion? Maybe a letter again goes out to the Norfolk towns and just says, look, here's who we are right now. And if you're interested in picking up our service, let me know. Do you do something like that? Would that be something we should look at?
no.
Oh, okay.
then
take
he'll
it
need
one
an
step at a
assistant
time.
Okay.
commissioner. Then we'll need 2 veterans service officers.
All right. Okay.
Yes, there's actually a state guide, okay?
Yep.
that with Franklin and Norfolk alone, the guide would say that a veteran service district director, or whatever the right title is, and a VSO, and a veteran service officer. And I don't know if they also include a part-time admin there. We're just with Avon, we're technically supposed to have an admin and the VSO. So we're okay there. But when we add Norfolk in, and even if we didn't have Avon there, it would be a completely different setup that the guideline sets.
Okay,
DVS has not pushed that.
okay, okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, through you to
Sure.
Michelle. Michelle, is there a percentage guide as to what, like, could I say percent of salary that it costs us for benefits?
The county pays 70% of the benefits.
70%. Okay. So I should use no. Wrong question. What percent, it varies by salary then, right? Because the fixed cost for medical insurance is the same. It's 25,000 is the high plan. And that doesn't matter what the salary is. So are there any of the benefits that are salary dependent?
No.
Okay. So you and I can chat.
If you want to talk before Monday,
Yeah. Yes. Just so I have some
Yeah.
numbers that I can work out.
Sure.
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thanks for the input, commissioners. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to have some guidance when I do meet with them so that I have a good starting point.
Thank you, Dale.
Keep it
Good
up.
luck.
Thank you.
Number 16. Report of the county director.
Good afternoon. So I just have a few updates for you commissioners. I want to update you on the Infinite Visions. That's something that we were working with the advisory board. And of course, your approval to perform the operational analysis and financial control overview. And we just started our training this week with on bank statements. So we have a schedule going forward for bank statements, school work calendars, financials, state reports, budget expenditures, and then leave plans. So different people are assigned to different trainings. If there's anybody in any of the departments that are interested in participating in these trainings, I can certainly send the link, but we identified some people from the school, especially the work calendars and the treasurer's office to participate in these trainings. So that's what's happening with Budget Sense and Infinite Visions. And then we received a community request from Dedham High School. So this request we received last year as well from Demetria Sullivan, who's on the Dedham Select Board, regarding the Dedham High School class of 2021 for the usage of the Registry of Deeds parking lot for their graduation, which is scheduled for Friday, May 28th. They did a class procession. The high school students lost out a lot due to COVID. So this is nice for the students and the families. There's a procession that goes through town as part of the graduation. The event allows students to celebrate, with the community. They will have a singer and a couple of songs, and they'll actually have someone from their high school class sing the Star Spangled Banner. Even though they're confident it will not rain, they would also like to reserve Saturday, May 29th and Sunday, May 30th as alternate dates for this in the event we do have rain. They would like to begin entering the parking lot around 3:30 on that day. And I spoke to Registrar O'Donnell about this as well. Do you have any questions on that?
I don't think so. We've done this before and, it's apropos because certainly Chairman O'Brien handled it, anything to do with the town. And, we were always supportive, and I can't imagine we're not supporting this too, but if we can have a little motion to allow the senior class to use the registry parking lot, and you did speak to Registrar O'Donnell, so I think it's in order, and we always want to help the town out anyway.
Is that for parking, Michelle, or for Are they, what are they using the parking lot? I mean, it sounds
They
crazy,
line up for a procession throughout the town, Commissioner. So it's like a parade.
like a parade.
And they line up in there and then leave.
Yes.
Interesting.
So they'll be there at 3:30. They'll be out of there by 7.
Okay.
They should be at your house about 7:30, Dick.
Right out of town, right to Canton.
Oh, yeah.
Go right through the town. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And Commissioner O'Donnell's okay. He knows about it.
Yes.
So.
You can
All right.
speak if you like, but I did speak to him already.
Yes, no, I spoke with Michelle. We did it, very supportive and
Yeah.
feel
Okay.
bad for the kids with COVID. So all good. And we're still going to be in business and Michelle knows
Right.
that. We still, operating, but it will all work and all for it.
Okay, that's a yes. So you can contact the town or the lady that wrote you the letter, Michelle?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay. Commissioners, in your packet, you saw letters from the maintenance department, 3 of the maintenance department employees regarding notice of retirement. So I just wanted to speak to that because it's in your packets and they wrote the letters to you. I wanted to speak to you about this. So they're referencing something that was in the contract, and that part of the contract was only what they're referencing was only available to union employees, and it expired on July 1st, 2020. So I wrote to Michelle McNulty and asked her opinion on that, and that's what she came back with. And I communicated this with Sheila Carroll, and I told her I was going to speak to our attorney, but I just wanted to let you know that the reason they weren't on the agenda and we didn't talk about it is because I don't think we can move forward with this request. So I just wanted to talk.
Have those people who wrote the letter been notified of Attorney McNulty's opinion?
Yes, I'm gonna update Sheila after we have this call today, but I wanted to update you first because the letters were written to the commissioners.
Right. Okay. So I wonder if that will affect their letter, what they wrote.
Well, I can update you next week in my update if that's the case.
Okay.
But in the contract, it did say if you retire and give 3 weeks notice, 3 years notice, you can carry over your time up to 60 days, a cap of 60 days, which is what they were reading, which I understand what they saw, but there was one sentence there that did say it was expired on 7/1/20, which they did not see. So I did communicate this with one person in the maintenance department. But I wanted to, and at that time told her I was going to run it by our legal counsel just to make sure I was reading it correctly, which I did. And now we have that decision.
Right.
Okay, so I wanted to update you on that. And then the engineering department, we have 2 candidates that we'd like to interview. We would like one commissioner to participate in these interviews. The interviews would be myself, Bill Buckley, one commissioner, and Mike Jordan from the engineering department. We're hoping to do this interview next Friday if possible in the afternoon. I don't know which commissioner would be interested in doing that, partnering with us on this, but I just need one commissioner.
Joe, you're in Dedham a lot. Would you mind doing it?
no, I can do it. It's a week from Friday, correct?
Yep.
I can't do it this Friday. The reason being that these people probably they are still employed and they haven't obviously advertised that they're looking for another job. We will be holding our director
I'll get up to, that's
finalist
next. Yep.
interviews. That's next in open session, but
Mhm.
I can work with the other 4 or 3 and then come in with a recommendation of the full board. I'd be
Yeah,
happy
Dick,
to
are you okay with that?
Yeah, this is for the engineer. They're gonna interview.
Right,
the
just
engineer,
engineering,
not-
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Next subject is a director.
That's fine. Yep, that's fine. Good luck.
All right, next
All
Friday.
right, so thank you so much. So I'll put you on that. And then regarding the county director, I did speak to Bernie Lynch yesterday from Community Paradigm, and he did do his final interviews, and he will have 3 candidates for the commissioners to interview. He would like to present the background on these candidates as well as an update on them and their resumes to the commissioners next Wednesday. He'll do this through a PowerPoint presentation. And after that presentation, we would then move to schedule the interviews via Zoom with the 3 commissioners to select who would be the county director.
I thought Peter had asked for 4. Didn't you say that? Or
Well,
was
he
it-
asked
I
for
asked
3
for-
with an
that mean
alternate.
I'm getting mixed up.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
3 with an alternate, Dick, in case one of them backed out at the last minute.
So are we gonna have 3 or 4? Do we know?
we're
Or
gonna
Go
have
ahead,
3.
3, okay, all right.
Is that, am I not understanding this correctly? Because I did communicate, that's what Bernie Lynch thought, that there would be 3 finalists to go in front of the commissioners.
Okay.
That's fine. I just wanted to have a backup just in case we needed it.
And
okay.
he does, he has a backup in case one of those 3, he confirmed that if there is a situation where that happens, he has an alternate to put in so that you will interview 3 people. I just want to be clear that that's what your hope is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or to make
so
sure.
make sure we're on the same page.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Commissioners, I would like you to, won't be next week, but we're gonna meet with Mr. Lynch next week. And then we need to sit and discuss when you want to do an open session, whether you want to, I don't know that we want to do it after a meeting, but maybe we do. Or we want to particularly select another afternoon or evening, but it has to be done. If it takes 2, it has to be done in open session either way, but I'd like to certainly get it done in May or early May.
May I make a recommendation? I think if you have it in open session after a commissioners meeting, it will be very long for the 3 of you. This meeting 3 people for interviews is going to take about 3 hours or maybe even a little longer because it breaks in between. And I do
Good
think-
point. I don't, whatever the commissioners think, but we got to be, I'd
I
like
just
them to
wanted
think about it for a
that.
week because
Okay,
next week we're just meeting with Bernie.
right,
And that's an open session, of course.
that's correct.
Okay.
When you have these interviews, they will be open session as well.
Right. Have to be, right. That's it, Michelle?
That's all I have for this week, commissioners.
That's
Mr.
good.
Chairman, through you quickly to Michelle.
Yes.
When are we opening up for back to business? Is that coming up soon?
We opened up back to business this past Monday, April 26th. We administration office is open, everyone's back 5 days a week. The building is closed to the public still. We are still doing notaries, but we are all back in the office.
No, so that's what I meant. When is the public going to be able to go and enter? Like a lot of town halls now are opening up next Tuesday. I know that for a fact. They're open. So when are we going to be open in terms of that?
We haven't made that decision, but if the
Oh.
commissioners want to make a decision today on the date that we open to the public,
Yeah, I think we
I mean,
should.
the whole reason that we brought everyone back was exactly Commissioner Stadium, right on target, is
Yeah.
because the movie theater downtown is opening, is already open. Town halls, I checked a couple of towns, they were all coming back, so that's why we decided to bring the staff back.
Yeah, a lot of the town halls, Mr. Chairman, are opening up Tuesday and
I
Wednesday.
agree. The
So,
eastern part of the county, they're open too.
we didn't make that decision.
Can we do it without putting it on the agenda, or do we have to put it on the agenda for next week? Or can we just do it? What's
I
your
think
opinion?
It'd probably be best to put it on the agenda and then vote on it,
Yeah, all right.
just to be safe, I think. I'm not sure.
All
I'm not
right,
sure what you think.
I'd like you to put it on the agenda and then with an eye towards, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, looking at May 10th to be open for all around.
That's good.
But
I mean, I
let's
think I
put it on
saw.
it Just
I
to
think
be
the governor-
sure.
They're gonna remove the mask by the end of the month, I heard, in some public places. So we're moving the right way. But yeah, that sounds good. I just want to make sure we did it. That's all. Get it on the agenda. So,
Nope, that makes sense. That makes
Okay.
sense.
okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 17, emergency items are topics that we did not reasonably anticipate. Anything else, commissioners?
With the, we know the service, you meant on Commissioner O'Brien, you said there's a gathering. Am I assuming we're planning to gather in some spot? and then
Well,
attend together, or how do
the
we?
way it was explained, not the way it was explained to me, that I used the word gathering, I forget what the funeral parlor called it. They're gonna be open from 9.
Mhm.
And then they're gonna leave at 9:45 to go to the church, which is next door, but
Okay,
you know.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, as far as some people would
Oh,
be
okay.
in the funeral procession, but how, you know, we can talk among ourselves. So,
And
I
is
mean,
there,
I'm definitely going, and I know
right.
most people here are, but we will have coverage and,
Mhm.
you know, we'll still be in business, so.
No registration needed to attend the mass service? Is that, do you know offhand? Do we need to register ahead of time or? is
I
it-
do not know the answer to that, but I can check.
It didn't say it, it was a long, we can send it to you.
Oh, we did not see it it wasn't stipulated in the.
Okay.
Right, it was nothing listed. It just said 9 at the funeral home and 10 at the church.
Great. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, last call. I'll take a motion to adjourn, please.
A
So-
motion to adjourn in the memory of Fran O'Brien.
Correct.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn this meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners at 2:36 PM on April 28th, 2021, in memory of our former chairman, most immediate past chairman, our great friend, Francis W. O'Brien. Thank you very much.